Hi and welcome back to the Drawing Database. It's Professor Marc Leone here, and today we're going to look at the drawings and spend 15 minutes or so with the drawings of Tintoretto, Italian Mannerist, born in 1518, died in 1594. And you're in for a treat today if you like really robust, athletic, very physical kinds of drawing and poses. Here we see a small study by Tintoretto of what's probably a Michelangelo Medici sculpture. You see this beautiful control of the rhythm. We've got the abdomen area coming back towards us and down, and then we've got the pelvic area coming back up and away from us, and then we kick the leg up and over like Michelangelo can. And again, the study of masters studying masters is well documented, and you see it here. What I love about this drawing, you want to take some notice of, is the simplification of the shadow shape. It's a very quick drawing. One value for all the shadow shape, very loosely rendered in. And so we get that value right in the shadow shape. So that's value 1. We get the tone of the paper, which is 2. And then, of course, these beautiful little highlights, which is value 3. So we can reduce that drawing down into just 3 values. Very beautiful, elegant, and simplified study. I think one of the treats of Tintoretto is his portrait studies, if not from marble, then certainly from life. But we see this beautiful, graceful, kind of elegant gesture coming this way, and then we see the construction of the figure tilted over. Here's straight 90, right, and then he's got him tilted over here about 20 to maybe 15 degrees off that, maybe about 65%. So lovely study, lovely control of the head structure, again about a 3 value system. And look at this beautiful styling of the hair, very simple kinds of curls and curly cues that you're going to see all over Tintoretto's drawing. Even his muscular form, they kind of take on that. But look how he simplified the value shape pattern, right, into these very wonderful simple brow shapes, the light source coming from the top right a little bit out in through here, shining down, and so we get the strong male brow, and then under the nose we get these simple shadow shapes to get a very simple rendering going with lots of complexity. And it's the subtleties within some of these, the cheekbones, see those little striated marks that he gets, and uses the tone of the paper really nicely, and of course those white highlights to signify 45-degree areas on the model. I think it's always good to show kind of graphic studies that are preparatory drawings and or kind of painted drawings for paintings that could look very contemporary today in our very wildly different eclectic mixture of all kinds of processes. Here we have some kind of an angel and a lion sphinx kind of figure flying over with, looks like the book, maybe it's a Revelation, or Jesus or Lazarus raising from the dead. But it's a compositional study. Flow through here to the focal point down, and then we see the upward turn of some of the figures to get us back up to here, and then the flow over. These figures beautifully kept in kind of a shadow, and we get the hint of what could be, or what's going to be, a very complex kind of interior. And then we get this lovely, don't we, foreshortening here of our figure shorthanded, just gorgeous control by Tintoretto. It seems like all these model heads are about the same kind of looking figure, large, middle-aged, bulky male. But let's talk about one quick thing. We've talked about the 3-tone system a little bit, but it's this flow. Look at this beautiful flow of gesture, tilted head, right over, contracting here, expanding on this side, the simplicity of the values and the shadow shapes. He liked a very top lit right, so he could emphasize the brow and the turn. Beautiful control of the eyes. A very difficult head to draw structurally in perspective. And of course, being a master, he handles it quite gorgeously. Same kind of thing with it looks like a more Michelangelo type figure, where we have a top lit, again almost looking slightly downward, even though he's top lit here. Coming from the right, we have again this simplified shadow shape. It looks like there's a lot of detail, but look closely, it's very simplified into about really a two-value system. The tone of the paper, the darks, and maybe a little bit of light chalk and slightly darker through here. But the head structure here, we would see at the top of the head, out in through here, coming down cheekbone to cheekbone over eye line, right? Nose line, center line coming through here. In this beautiful, graceful curve of the sternocleidomastoid down to the pit of the neck and through here. And then the jammed part of the trapezius, sternocleidomastoid coming down, and all that's in beautiful shadow. Doesn't get much better and more simple than that. It's like, how do you get to be that good and be that simple? Here we see a preparatory gesture in chalk, the kind of style that Tintoretto was known for, this sort of Venetian Mannerist. This curvature reminds me a little bit of Pontormo as well, and the kind of stylings it gets in the kind of the circly kind of eyes. Remember Pontormo? And you get this wonderful kind of turning of the model through here, and then just the beautiful graceful gesture and the flow through there. And we've got him on some kind of above pedestal, and we're looking up to him. We see the underneath, the beautiful underneath of the flow of the leg, and of course the curvature of the back. This was done from imagination. That's something that you want to put into practice in your drawing practice, is drawing from imagination. No matter how awful they look, mine looked awful for years, that's okay. That's a great way to achieve an understanding of what you know, as well as what you're learning and how you're putting it together. Another robust study of look-like statues. Notice the styling of the musculature all over, right in through here, over muscled if you will. All these little secondary bulges in the trapezius, the scapular region, the tricep region, even the hair. It reminds me just bubbles upon bubbles upon bubbles, and it works. The serratus posterior, and then a little bit of the lat coming through. Again, the simplification of the shadow shape in the back of the glutes there and the hamstring across the calf make this work particularly well. And I love the composition with the double models in slightly different positions. And of course we see them with slightly different shadow tones on there, but simplifying that shadow value pattern into about 3. Here we have classic Tintoretto in an upturned pose, lit from the top right, and we just see that beautiful control of shadow shape pattern. So once he lightly gets the structure of the head really downturned and over, right, we see this coming over and through and down, right. This cheek is really curved. Look at the curvature, the consistent upturned curvature as we're looking from below up. That's important to keep that rhythm alive. He emphasizes it curve after curve, upturned rhythm in the eyes. The eyelids even get upturned to keep that consistency alive in the process of revealing the head structure and revealing the true perspective nature of the model. And then of course we have that lovely two-tone system of shadow shape, simplified. Notice the nostrils are gone. We don't even need those. Probably a very quick study, not a very large study of a beautiful head shape. And this is all rendered in a one value, right? And then we get the tone of the paper, kind of a beige tone. It was probably lighter in his day. And then we get the highlight too as well. Figure study from probably live, very quick gesture study. And the reason I say live is a little bit more control in the anatomy. I love the overlap. We get the lightening up of the contouring here across the form, and then he hits these outside gestures. These all go together. This outside form to here, the abdomen, they work together. They're not exclusive, so he's thinking about one side against the other and not drawing the construction all the way through. He's thinking about the pelvis crest here against this one, and then he's thinking here against this. So using the idea of width and axis we've talked about in the figure section, looking at the center of the form and then judging so you can better judge its edges is what this is a great practice for that without having to draw the construction lines. You can still draw the construction lines, and I prefer you do that, but here's our true center. Here's the farthest width here, farthest width there, etc. and so on. It's a great study, and the breasts hang over and pop up and over. Lovely. And where have we seen this before? It seems like the same, almost the same drawing repeated, but they're all different. Here we have top left lit coming up and through there. We have this beautiful center line, eye line, nose line, bottom of the lip, bottom of the bottom lip, and then we have the chin line, and then of course we have the side plane of the head coming back over. Beautiful zygomatic arch, temporal arching through here, and the ear coming down. So we see that beautiful structure that he's got in command, that he's got tilted off its straight axis, off the standard model, and then we see the top lip here downward, and we see the beautiful control of the shadow shapes, rendering them in. See how he controls the form shadow in the nose and the cast shadow, bringing them together. Simplified chin and ear. Only 2 shadow patterns here, 1 and light. Light, dark, and then super light with the highlights. Another great study. There's a lot to learn here from Tintoretto for sure. Another Medici type figure, looking out of the composition, tilted slightly downward, just subtly. Beautiful control of the edge. Slinky, thin figure. Have a little bit of the trapezius, the sternocleidomastoid behind the ear, snaking all the way and over and downward. And through here, and we have the other one right in through there. Chin coming up structurally. Here's our head structure. We take off the hair, and here we are about right in through here. Side plane of the hair and the ear hanging off pretty good in through there. Remember that ear comes in front of the jawbone, in through their zygomatic arch over to here, maxilla of the jaw, right in through here, in the mandible coming over. So it's right in through there. Then of course we see the shadow patterns, don't we? Simplified. He loved very much a top lip with almost, if not exclusively, the light coming from the very top above the head. So you get these wonderful little shadow patterns. Play around with that. Take photos of your friends and yourself and play around with flashlights and lighting. We used to do that in art school with my a drawing professor at Art Center, Steve Houston. We would take flashlights and Sharpies, and we would light our friends with a top light in different directions and shadow patterns, and we would draw in Sharpie to draw the shadow shapes. Try that. It's not easy. And lastly, I'll leave you with a figure study, I believe, of Vulcan in his foundry, bronzing and burning. We have this beautiful upturned classic sort of Italian mannerism, sort of Baroque, late Renaissance turning of the figure model, pushing it over the gesture and through here. This is all from imagination. We have a study of composition, value, right? Light source up here coming down on the model. Actually, check that. It's actually a little bit higher. So let's take that away. A little bit higher, probably up in through here and down. Yeah, because we're shining there. Because here's our cast shadow. So see, I missed that really quickly. And then we have a beautiful study of tiling and slight 2-point perspective, which was just coming into play at that particular time. So we see the 1-point interior through here, mostly 1, and then we see this wonderful slight 2-point coming through and through here. So with our horizon line probably right around somewhere in through there. Thank you for taking a look at Tintoretto with me. You will be well rewarded to study the drawings of Tintoretto. They are robust and they are powerful, and he's one of my all-time kinds of favorites. I mean, I have a lot of favorites, but he's certainly in my top 10. You guys take care. See you next time. Be safe, be well. Bye-bye.